Would you rather physically shock yourself with electricity or sit entirely alone in a completely quiet room with just your own thoughts? It sounds like an insane question, right? But the answer actually reveals exactly why your 20s can feel so incredibly confusing. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology, the neuroscience, and the ground-level strategy of not just surviving, but actually thriving in your 20s. Look, this decade isn't about having it all figured out. It's the very first time you're handed the steering wheel, but nobody gave you a map. You are literally laying down the neural pathways for the rest of your life right now. We're going to cover 10 profound truths today, and definitely stick around for truth number 7 because it dismantles a really toxic, invisible belief that almost everyone learns way too late.
Okay, let's dive right in with a study from Dr. Timothy Wilson at the University of Virginia that is honestly just jarring. He ran an experiment to see just how far we'll go to avoid looking at our own internal programming. Picture this. You're led into a stark, windowless room. No phone, no books, zero distractions. Just you, the hum of the AC, your echoing thoughts, and a single button on a table that delivers a mild electric shock. Now, they'd already tested this shock on the participants, and every single one of them said they would literally pay money to avoid feeling it again. But get this. When left completely alone with their minds for just 15 minutes, a staggering 67% of men and 25% of women chose to voluntarily reach out and shock themselves rather than just sit there in silence. Why on earth would they do that? Because sitting with our thoughts means facing the exact things we're avoiding. It just proves our desperate instinct for avoidance. We will do almost anything, even physically hurt ourselves, to avoid confronting what's actually going on inside our own heads.
Which brings us right to truth 1. The things you are most proud of avoiding are probably the exact things you desperately need to do. In your 20s, terror often wears a really sophisticated outfit called waiting for the right time. We build this intelligent-sounding vocabulary around simply not doing the thing that scares us. You tell your friends, "Oh, I'm just gathering more data before I launch," or "I need to find myself first before I commit to a career path." It sounds incredibly smart, but honestly, it's just fear wearing a tuxedo. There is a massive, life-altering difference between busy avoidance and effective action. The 20-something version of shocking yourself in that room is doom scrolling, endless planning, or binge-watching content about a goal instead of actually executing it. You're pressing the shock button and calling it preparation. Think about reading 5 different books on how to start a business. Every time you finish a chapter, you get this fake dopamine hit of progress. But you haven't taken any actual risk. You haven't registered an LLC, you haven't pitched a single client, so here's your actionable challenge for today. Identify one scary thing you are actively avoiding under the disguise of research, and take one messy, effective action on it. Just one.
Now, this avoidance usually stems directly from truth 2. You don't actually know what you want. You only know what you were told to want. Psychologist Erik Erikson outlined a developmental stage for this exact time of life, and he called it identity versus role confusion. The reality is most of the goals we're chasing right now, the impressive job title, the timeline for when to get married, the aesthetic apartment, they're just inherited software. We downloaded it from our culture, our parents, or our social media feeds without even realizing it.
There's some fascinating research by Dr. Keenan Sheldon highlighting a concept called self-concordance. This means pursuing goals that truly align with your authentic internal values. When you achieve goals driven entirely by external pressures, the success feels totally hollow. Imagine staying in a grueling corporate job, grinding 80 hours a week just so you can drop a fancy title at family dinners. You get the promotion, but on the quiet drive home, you feel completely empty. So try this. Do a nobody-would-know goal audit. Look at your biggest ambition right now and ask yourself, if literally nobody would ever know I achieved this, would I still want it? If the answer is no, drop it. It's not your goal.
And truth 3 builds right on top of that. The approved version of you is costing you everything. Early on in our 20s, as we enter the professional world or the serious dating market for the first time, we construct this safe, performative mask. We do it because we are terrified that the real, unpolished version of us might get rejected. We want to look like we have our lives totally together. But let me tell you, maintaining this exhausting mask of perfection comes at a massive, silent cost.
The crucial point here is that this armor doesn't just keep bad things out. It actively blocks out genuine connection, true recognition, authentic love, and real opportunities. As vulnerability researcher Brené Brown's data clearly shows, genuine connection is biologically impossible without vulnerability. Think about how mentally draining it is to wake up every single day and perform a fake persona. It practically guarantees loneliness, because even if people like the mask, deep down you know they don't really know you. Your challenge this week? Show one unapproved, real messy trait to a trusted friend. Watch them exhale, drop their own shoulders, and say, "Oh man, me too."
Now, if you're going to take off that mask, you have to embrace truth 4. Failure before 25 is your greatest asset. Author Mark Manson points out that your biggest asset right now isn't talent, and it certainly isn't money. It is time. Time grants you the unique opportunity to take massive risks. Think about the math. In your 20s, a disastrous entrepreneurial failure or a rejected career pivot costs you a few months of pride and maybe some sleep on a friend's couch. In your 40s, with a mortgage and kids relying on you, that same failure has entirely different catastrophic stakes. Right now is literally the exact time to risk.
And the biology backs this up perfectly. Your brain's neuroplasticity, its ability to physically adapt and rewire itself, is peaking right now in your teens and 20s. According to Dr. Michael Merzenich, failing young literally strengthens your problem-solving skills and builds lifelong resilience significantly faster than avoiding failure ever could. So, your action step? Fail forward. Apply for that job you think you're totally underqualified for. Pitch that wild idea. Let the market tell you no, instead of rejecting yourself before you even step up to the plate.
Speaking of stepping up to the plate, Truth 5 completely redefines how you actually get there. Discipline is disappointing the wrong things. We have this pervasive, toxic myth that discipline is about forcing yourself to do incredibly hard things using pure willpower, like gritting your teeth through a freezing ice bath every morning. But willpower is a battery, it's not a muscle. Every single decision you make draws from a finite tank of daily energy. True discipline is actually having the courage to say no to easy, comfortable distractions so you can preserve that battery for what actually matters.
We've all fallen into the incredibly relatable trap of early morning doom scrolling, right? If you waste your most potent morning energy fighting the snooze button, checking group chats, and answering non-urgent emails, you arrive at your real, meaningful work completely depleted. Try this 3-step reallocation challenge tomorrow morning. Identify 3 energy drainers, disappoint them deliberately by letting those notifications sit unanswered, and redirect that raw energy. Use it to read 10 pages of a book, apply for one high-leverage job, or just do a 20-minute workout before the rest of the world even wakes up. Where you direct your energy is heavily influenced by Truth 6. Your inner circle isn't just influencing you, they are literally programming you. We've all heard that cliche that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, but this isn't just some cheesy motivational quote, it's hard neuroscience. Your brain features mirror neurons that rehearse and adopt the behaviors they witness in others. If you constantly hang around people who are chronically anxious, negative, and unambitious, your brain is actively practicing anxiety and stagnation every single day.
Listen to this stat, it's wild. A landmark contagion study by Dr. James Fowler showed that if a close friend becomes obese, your own likelihood of becoming obese increases by a staggering 45%. Not because they're force-feeding you, but because their baseline behavior recalibrated your brain's internal sense of what is normal. If your friends complain constantly, you will complain. So honestly audit your 5 closest friends today. This doesn't mean you have to abruptly cut people out of your life, but it does mean being fiercely protective of who gets the absolute majority of your time and energy. Seek out value-led connections.
All right, here we are at the highly anticipated Truth 7. Remember that toxic trap I mentioned at the very beginning? Here it is. You will not be rewarded for your suffering. Deep down, so many of us hold on to this invisible belief that if we just endure enough misery, some cosmic karma ledger will eventually balance out and pay us back. We believe this because we grew up watching movies where the suffering hero is always magically rewarded at the end. We instinctively apply that fictional narrative to our real lives. But let me be clear, suffering is not an investment.
Psychologists call this the sunk cost fallacy. It's the absolute classic 20s mistake of staying in a dead-end, toxic relationship or a soul-crushing job simply because you've already invested 3 years into it. You double down on your pain and you call it perseverance. I challenge you right now to objectively evaluate a major commitment in your life. If you are starting fresh today with 0 past investment and 0 shared history, would you still choose it? If the answer is no, it is time to drop the sunk cost.
This profound willingness to suffer usually stems directly from Truth 8. Your relationship with yourself is the blueprint for every single relationship you will ever have. Erik Erikson defined the 20s as the core stage of intimacy versus isolation. And research by Dr. Kristen Neff shows that your baseline of self-compassion dictates the exact level of treatment you will unconsciously accept from others. If you do not trust your own worth, you will inevitably attract and tolerate people who reinforce that distrust. You set the baseline.
When you lack self-worth, a relationship stops being a supportive partnership and instead becomes an endless audition for validation. You outsource your sense of worth to a boss, a romantic partner, or a friend group. As the poet Rumi so brilliantly put it, you wander from room to room looking for the diamond necklace that is already around your neck. The action here is vital. Stop outsourcing your worth. Start generating it internally by keeping small daily promises to yourself and celebrating your own quiet, private wins. When you finally stop constantly auditioning for validation, you can clear your vision and start building your actual life. Which brings us to truth 9. The compounding curve applies to absolutely everything. Your 30s are just the compounding consequences of the actions you take in your 20s. Savvy Wealth notes that starting early creates a massive financial foundation because of compound interest. But it's absolutely crucial to understand that your habits, your industry knowledge, and your professional network compound in the exact same mathematical way.
You do not need $1 million to start compounding. Start with these rapid-fire, realistic actions right now. Build a $500 starter emergency fund so a simple flat tire doesn't derail your entire month. Implement a basic 50-30-20 budget so your spending is automatically dictated by your priorities, not your impulses. Invest just 5% for retirement. And take this brilliant advice from Peak Levs. Send just one personalized networking message a week. It takes 30 minutes, but over 5 years, that compounds into over 250 connections and life-changing opportunities. Do just one of these compounders today.
And finally, we arrive at truth 10. You will build your life, you will not figure it out. The single greatest source of anxiety in your 20s is the belief that life is a puzzle and you just have to find the right pieces and click them together to reveal a perfect 10-year plan. Author Mark Manson notes that the most disillusioning yet incredibly freeing realization is that everyone, even your parents, are just flawed people who are still figuring it out as they go. Seriously, feel the relief in that. It takes all the pressure off having a perfect blueprint.
Dr. Herminia Ibarra's research proves you literally cannot plan your way into a new identity. You have to act your way into it. You start with messy experience, which builds competence. Competence gives you evidence, and only then do you finally get confidence. Think about it. You take a terrifying, messy public speaking gig. That's experience. You learn you didn't die. That builds confidence. You get invited to speak again. There's your evidence. And then you finally feel like a confident speaker. Stop waiting for confidence to start, because confidence always comes last. Just go gain 1 hour of messy experience today.
Okay, let's do a super quick recap so this mental framework actually sticks. Remember, the things you desperately avoid are exactly what you must do. Question if your goals are actually yours. Drop the exhausting, fake-approved version of yourself. Use early failure to physically wire your brain for resilience. Have the disciplined courage to say no to the wrong things. Radically audit your inner circle. Stop holding on to toxic sunk costs thinking your suffering equals a reward. Realize your self-worth dictates every relationship you have. Start compounding your habits and your money right now. And finally, stop trying to figure life out and just start building it through messy action.
Look, knowledge without execution is just entertainment. So please don't just consume this explainer, actively practice these truths in your own life. If you found value in this breakdown, please like and subscribe to keep your focus sharp. I really want to hear from you. Comment below with the specific truth that impacted you the most today. And most importantly, share this explainer with someone in their 20s who could use this exact roadmap right now. I'll leave you with this provocative thought. Your 20s are not a waiting room for your real life to begin. You are laying the bricks right now. What kind of house are you building? Thank you for watching, keep building, and I will see you in the next explainer.